Greetings folks, and I hope you're all fit and well wherever you are in collecting land. And welcome back to the channel for another 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. And today I want to play a game. Yes folks, it's Billy, quite possibly the scariest tricycle riding puppet in movie history, and the conduit by which John Kramer reveals his fiendish and lethal traps to his victims in just about every Saw movie in the franchise. Brought to us by Trick or Treat Studios. But before we dive in, I'd like to send a massive shout out to everyone who supported the channel, and be sure to drop a like on this review as it helps other people find Go Figure. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you don't miss any of the 1/6 scale news, reviews, showcases and all the other stuff that's coming up on the channel. So, the Saw franchise, a bit of a roller coaster in my opinion, some very high highs and some quite low lows, but it all kicked off back in 2004. Created by James Wan and starring Tobin Bell as the terminally ill John Kramer, determined to teach his victims the true value of life. And although the franchise has varied from sort of genius to dross, there's no doubt it has given us one of the most iconic serial killers in movie history. But enough life and death lessons onto the box, and a relatively small box it is too. It is 1/6 scale, but after all, it's a puppet on a tricycle, so it's going to be slightly smaller than your average 1/6 scale figure. But the packaging looks very nice from Trick or Treat Studios here. What you have on the front is a shot of Billy's head, and it's got these sort of interference lines going on across the front of it as well, keeping up that aesthetic from the movie where the TV screens were wheeled out and videotapes were played to the victim of Billy. On the bottom here you've got that jigsaw symbol, it says Saw in the font from the movie, 1/6 scale Billy figure with tricycle, and heaps of blood spatter to keep it in that Saw mood. Trick or Treat Studios logo on the bottom right hand corner there. On the left hand side, Saw logo once again, more blood spatter. On the right hand side, I think it's pretty much the same. Yes it is. What have we got on the top? On the top, the jigsaw logo again, lots of blood spatter. Around the back we've got this black and white shot. Now I think this is a shot from the movie itself, probably Saw 2 I think, but I could be wrong, or it could be a shot of the actual figure, but it's been done in black and white. You've got that shadow on the wall behind it there, looking very menacing, and a nice photo it is too. Warnings on the bottom here and the age limitation. You've got Twisted Pictures and Lionsgate logo at the bottom there. Officially licensed product, this one. And what have we got on the bottom? Just the usual credits and warnings there. Don't piss this figure off, or you may have to retrieve a key from the stomach of your best friend. Magnetically clasped box, this one, so when you open it up what you are greeted with is Billy himself behind this clear plastic window, plenty more blood spatter going on, and on the left hand side you've got a close-up of Billy's head and it says I want to play a game. So that's the box folks, and some very nice presentation from Tots, I have to say. Liking the presentation a lot on this one. So without further ado, let's crack this box open, dive down onto the table and have a close-up with Billy. Okay folks, so here's Billy, straight out of the box, straight onto the turntable, and first impressions. I've got to say, first impressions are very good indeed. The proportions look right, the screen accuracy is there, the sculpting and the details, the detailing on the clothing and the outfit itself all look on point to me. So yeah, it's looking very good here from Trick or Treat Studios. But we will do as we always do. We will give him the once over. Let's stop him from spinning. And it is worth mentioning at this point, he is quite a delicate little chap, straight out of the box. It's the nature of the figure itself. It's not down to any poor construction on Tot's part. It's simply just because it is quite small and quite delicate, especially this tricycle. But we'll take a look at it. So I would say handle with caution if you're picking this little chap up. But yeah, we'll start with the tricycle itself. Now the tricycle itself is made out of plastic. It's all sculpted plastic. It's a relatively light piece this, but as I say, handle with caution. It's not that kind of thing that you can be throwing around or handling with without due care and attention, shall we say. But yeah, the tricycle itself, the sculpted paint application looked very, very good indeed. As I say, all sculpted plastic. The red colour that they've gone for here is screen accurate as far as I can tell. The paint applications are nice to give it that sort of metallic look. What you've got is this foot plate at the back, which is sculpted plastic, and if I can get this close enough into camera here, you can see the weathering detail on there, on those sections at the back, and there's weathering detail on the main body of the tricycle itself. The wheels themselves are painted the same colour, they're all plastic. They're on a metal bar that runs underneath the foot plate, and they both spin together, which is nice to see. And the paint applications and Sculpt to give it that rubber tyre look on both the front and the rear are very nicely done as well. Now, worth mentioning at this point as well, this figure is, well, I'm not going to say it's a static figure because it isn't a static figure, but it doesn't have the articulation that we come to expect with a normal 1/6 scale figure. Pretty much meant to be kept on this tricycle, I believe. There's no real bend at the elbow joints or at the knee joints here. However, this front wheel does move a little bit, and as you can see, the feet do move with that to give it some movement. The body itself isn't articulated at the waist either. There is some movement there that you can see with the legs, so they will move backwards and forwards, but I think that's just to compensate for any movement that you might get, any roll on this front wheel. The body itself is actually attached, if I can demonstrate this, is attached to the seat by a magnet that you can see underneath there. So it will lift off and those feet will move and rotate. I think that one's actually come a little bit loose there. Yeah, it looks like that foot there has become detached from the, oh no it hasn't, it's got a super long joint there, what looks like a barbell joint, so you can it can take into account any movement that you're going to get on the seat or from the front wheel itself. So yeah, wouldn't recommend taking this guy off the tricycle, although his hands do move on the handlebars here, so that they're not sort of fixed in place, so you can get some movement in there if you just need to futz around his position a little bit. But yeah, let's take a look at the front of this the tricycle itself. Now, as I said, paint applications are really, really nice here to give it that metallic look. You've got the spokes that are weathered as well, where they meet the rim of the wheel and all the way down as well. You've got that little grille on the front with that metallic silver paint application and some weathering on there. Handlebars really nicely done, all plastic again. There are some scratches on there and dinks to give it that slightly worn look. It's been given a silver paint application and then what looks like some greys and blacks over the top, some washes to give it that aged metallic look. So really nicely done, and it's got the bell on there as well, once again screen accurate. The black suit is a dust and hair magnet, as all black suits are. This is straight out of the box and it's already attracting some little bits of fluff. But the tailoring is really nice, the fall of that suit is nice, and it is screen accurate here. And what we're going to remember here is that this is a puppet, and I think Tots have done a cracking job here at tailoring it in that puppet style that we see in the film, rather than it being a perfectly fitted black suit that we would see on the average human figure, in inverted commas. They've captured that puppet suit look, if that makes sense. The material feels like a decent quality cotton. The stitch work in the seams is really good. You've got this black jacket on with buttons down the front and pockets. Open that jacket up and you've got a black waistcoat going on underneath there, and there's a white cotton shirt as well. And overall, yeah, the creasing, the fall, the material looks very nice and screen accurate. Underneath there as well, you've got the red bow tie. The proportions are right on that, slightly oversized in that red colour, with the handkerchief in the top pocket as well. I believe that's glued in place. I don't think that's going to no, that doesn't come out. Collar's nicely done. We'll flip him around the back here, and as you can see, yeah, the stitch work and the fall on that jacket and pants is really good. The hands themselves, sculpted plastic, as I said, there is some, it feels like there is a bit of movement there. Yeah, there is definitely movement, so you can futz around on those handlebars there. but the paint application on the white gloves is very good. There's a wash on the top of there if the light is catching that, to pick out the details and make them look slightly weathered so they're not perfectly white. Let's take a look at this head sculpt now. Let's get this guy in as close as we possibly can now. Just move that turntable out of the way. Now the head sculpt here is pretty much static. Actually, we'll just check that. There is a little bit of movement here, if I can get my hands out of the way and you can see this. Yeah, there's a little bit of right and left movement, so you can maybe have him looking more forward on the tricycle. I prefer this sort of slightly off at an angle look. I think that's slightly more menacing. And there's a bit of up and down movement as well, but not a huge amount. But it's not one really for posing this figure. It's pretty much going to stay in this on the trike pose. Let's get really close up on this head sculpt. I think Tots have done a cracking job here. That is most certainly screen accurate and most certainly 100% Billy. That mask is really nicely sculpted and painted. You've got some washes over the top there. It's not perfectly white. You've got some what look like greys and blues going on in there to pick out the details. The eyes, not complex, but done really well. Black with those red circles, suitably menacing. On those high cheekbones, you've got the jigsaw symbol itself. Then you've got that sort of separate mouth. That mouth isn't articulated, it won't move at all, but it's got those that sort of cuts at either side of the mouth to replicate the puppet mouth itself, and that red painted sort of grin smile going on, which is suitably creepy. The hair, now, I think it's really good that the hair's been done by Tots. They've used artificial hair rather than sculpted hair. I think that's a great idea. It's a little bit frantic out of the box. It's got a bit of static going on, but that can be futzed out. And really, you can muck about with this hair to get it to where you want it. I prefer it slightly flatter because that's a bit more screen accurate. But if you're wanting to have it stuck up and super spooky like that, you can do that as well. The colour's right, it's black, which is what it should be. The length is right. I like the way it flares out at the back here. That is suitably screen accurate as well, and that choppy look to it at the back. Overall, yeah, that hair is on point. And the head sculpt itself, very, very well done. Yeah, I've got to say, I think apart from being a little bit delicate, but that is the nature of the piece itself, I think Tots have done a cracking job here. I think what we need to do is bring out somebody to give him some scale. Okay folks, so in the absence of a John Kramer figure to give this little Billy guy a bit of scale, we've wheeled out another Tots figure, and it's Art the Clown, yes, the Terrifier himself. Actually, and on that note, while we're talking about John Kramer, it's a shame we haven't seen an officially licensed 1/6 scale figure of him yet, sort of outside of expensive custom pieces, although I do believe that two companies have got pre-orders on John Kramer figures. I think that's Kento Pro and Big Dog Studios. Now, I don't have experience of either of those two companies. Probably would be going with one of them because where would Billy be without John? But yeah, it's a shame we haven't seen an officially licensed one yet. But what you can get here is an idea of the scale that Trick or Treat Studios have gone for here, and I think they've pretty much nailed it on. To be honest with you, I think they've got it just about right. That scale looks pretty much on point to me, alongside the Art the Clown figure. So yeah, will display well with a John Kramer figure if we ever get an officially licensed one, or if either of those two third-party figures is up to the job. So I think what we should do is go in for a final verdict on Billy. There'll be no showcase with this particular video. Regulars to the channel will probably know that I tend to do a showcase of 1/6 scale figures at the end of these reviews, but because of the nature of this little chap and not having anything to pose him with, this is pretty much what you see is what you get sort of thing going on here. But yeah, let's dive in for a final verdict on Billy. So it's verdict time on Tots' take on Billy the Puppet from Saw. Right, where to begin with this guy? Well, proportions on point. Materials that have been used, very, very good. I think that suit's very well tailored and screen accurate. The colours are right. The paint applications are very, very good. That head sculpt is on point. I love the use of the artificial hair. I think that's very, very well done. The shoes, suitably glittery and the right style. Everything is pretty much nailed on here. I'm struggling to find anything to complain about with this particular piece. I suppose you could always argue that the materials you could have used some metal in the trike. You could have made it more articulated so that you could actually the front wheel could spin and the legs would move. But all of these things would have upped the price point, and this does come in at a very, very reasonable price point. So I think as a compromise there between price and quality, I think Tots have nailed it on. As regulars to the channel will know, if I can't find anything to complain about or anything wrong with the figure, I have to give it a 10, and I'm really struggling here to find anything to complain about. Loath to score this sort of on the usual scale, simply because it doesn't really come under the banner of a normal 1/6 scale figure. This is a rather unique little piece. It's not technically a 1/6 scale articulated action figure. It's more a companion piece, shall we say, to that John Kramer jigsaw figure that we are still waiting for, and hopefully we will get of the right standard in the not too distant future. So yeah, giving it a score out of 10 is a difficult one here. I'd probably give it a 9 or a 10, based on it being maybe call it an articulated accessory, if you will. But I think it's absolutely cracking little piece. If you're a Saw fan, if you're a fan of the IP and of the franchise, and if you're getting yourself a 1/6 scale John Kramer that doesn't have Billy and his tricycle included, then you can't go far wrong than Tots take here. I think they have done a wonderful job. So there you have it, folks. That's Trick or Treat Studios' take on Billy the Puppet from the Saw franchise. What are your thoughts on this piece? Is it something that you're going to be picking up? Do you already have it? What are your thoughts on the Saw franchise itself? What are your thoughts on anything at all? As always, nothing is off menu, so please drop a comment in the comment section below. I would be fascinated to hear your take on this whole thing. What have we got coming up on the channel? Well, we have a raft of 1/6 scale figures coming in, new figures. We've got stuff from Hot Toys, from InArt, from Susu Toys, Present Toys, Exo6, Caustic Plastic, Iconic Studios, to name but a few. And we have more showcases, more episodes of Grail or Fail, more retro reviews, more statues, more quarter scale stuff. Yeah, I could go on, but we'd be here all day. So suffice it to say, there's an awful lot of stuff on the horizon. So as I mentioned at the top there, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're not missing any of the good stuff. And I suppose all that remains for me to say is a massive thank you for watching, and from myself and from Billy, as always, take care of yourselves, and until next time on the channel, happy collecting.